Hello and welcome to the 78th episode of the No Excuses podcast. My name's Anne and I live in the middle of England in Worcestershire with my husband Tom. Today is a lovely bright spring day, lots of blue sky. Tiny bit too cold just to sit outside comfortably, I thought, but it's Sunday the 21st of April, which means it's 3 weeks since I last recorded. And I'm really sorry about that because I do like to try and record every fortnight. I have no excuses. I'm not going to make any. Been busy, but I don't know doing what. As they say, busy doing nothing. How are you? What have you been up to? I'd love to hear from you and what you've been making or where you've been, etc, etc. Today we have got a prize winner. We've got some finished items, progress, some incoming, as always, and then what I've been up to. So let's get on with it, shall we? I'm going to forget something, you know I will. But anyway, everywhere you can contact me is just down below. I'm contactable on email, Ravelry and Instagram. And please feel free to write to me on any of those, on any subject under the sun, if you think I know about it. Not nuclear physics, maybe. I didn't pass my O level in that. But we have 2 make-alongs. The jump along, which we do every year from October to the end of March, has finished. And I'm really pleased to say I've already contacted the winner, and it's Wendy, who lives in Australia, and she's Handmadestudio11 on Ravelry. And I'll put a couple of pictures up showing that I chose it using a random number generator from the entries on my spreadsheet. I've contacted Wendy. Wendy, I've cut out your bag. It's ready to be sewn up, and it will be in the post this week, and I'll let you know when it's been posted. Wendy put a couple of things into the jump along, and I think the winning was her lily top. If I can get a photo of Ravelry to put on here, I will put it on. And then the other year-long make-along is Craft More in 24, and that is something new to you. So if you're doing something you've never done before, like a new craft, whether it's pottery or woodwork or, you know, something that's new to you or fairly new to you, then, you know, I welcome any entry, really. I know it's not going to be something that many people will feel. If I knit all the time, you know, should I put something knitting in? Well, yes, if it is a really new process to you that you've not done before, then put it in. Again, entries usual via the usual channels. And so today, I think I called the new Mal called Go Big or Go Home, but I'm not going to call it that. It's the bigger the better. And there is I haven't got my words in, I've got my teeth in. There's a hashtag on Instagram, which I'll put on the screen, and there's now a discussion board up on a thread on Ravelry for you to go and put things into. Basically, it's any project or number of related projects that add up to more than 400 grams. So if you are making a blanket, as long as the blanket is bigger than 400 grams, that's fine. I don't mind whips. You know, if you're not, preferably not finished items that you already finished that you're going to get out the wardrobe and put in. But if you're still working on it, that's fine. As soon as it gets over 400 grams, you can add it in. You don't need to add any more to it if it already weighs 400 grams or more. I'm not asking you to knit or crochet another 400 grams on top of it if it's already that weight. For me, a jumper would qualify because all my jumpers are usually more than 400 grams. If you're not making a big jumper or a blanket, etc., then, or a cardigan, then if you make several pairs of socks that weigh more than 400 grams, or several hats that weigh more than 400 grams, then please enter them into the mail. As long as they're all hats or all socks, or a shawl, even a great big shawl, or Aran or worsted weight shawl that's easily up to 400 grams because it's a big one, then please enter it in to the mail, and that will go on to the end of September. The bigger the better. Don't think there's anything else admin wise I need to tell you. So congratulations, Wendy, and thank you to everybody that entered the jump along this year. It will be starting again on the 1st of October. I might as well do it every year because it's one of them, a top, a jumper, or a cardigan is something that many of us do knit or crochet. So let's get into finished items, shall we? Oh, I'll tell you what I'm wearing. I'm wearing my City Limits jumper that I was intended to wear outside the house, because most of my City Limits are for wearing in the house day after day, and every now and again they get washed. But this is the last one I made, and it's all in garter stitch, and I've either done it in a bigger size, or the garter stitch has stretched more than the stocking stitch, and it's got a few pulls on it already, so I wouldn't normally wear this at the house. But you can see it's a lovely yellowy colour. This is mainly from the spring fade, I think, that Yarnworthy did a couple of years ago. I think it was like 2 years ago. And some other, it was Merino and some other Merino minis that I had held together to make 2 4-plies up into a worsted. Very easy knit. The pattern, say this is the 4th time I've knitted it, and without lifting up my jumper, the colours on the sleeve where it goes into green are the same as you go down the body on the jumper. It gets a little bit more from the yellow to dark yellow to green, and I'm really pleased. But as you can see, well, you might not be able to see, but it is pilling, and I've got a big thread hanging here that I need to poke back through. I am hard on clothes, as I keep saying. I make them pill more than, even if I only wear it occasionally. I make things pill, make things fluff. It is what it is. So that's what I'm wearing, and I'm pleased to say that, I know I've shown you this before, but this is the Soundwave top by Faye Kennington that I showed you last time, I think. And this is knitted in merino, silk and yak, and it's gorgeous to feel. The original pattern, and I'll put a photo up, has these colours all in the same colour and a bigger contrast. Mine's a far more muted set of colours than the original pattern shows, but obviously if I look at other projects, some other people have gone more subtle than me. The main grey here and in the body is an undyed merino, silk and yak, and the colours here, the colours are from my needle and thread advent from 2022. Neckband and the end of the cuffs and the hem are from Yarnworthy last year, exactly the same mix. In fact, I did buy a couple of the bare wool off her as well at the beginning, and then I changed, it was a bi-monthly club, and I changed it in the end to have 2 of the dyed versions of what she was doing that every other month, instead of one of the undyed and one of the dyed, if you get what I mean. Last time I spoke to you, I was a bit concerned about the sleeve length sitting in the crook of my arm, which would annoy me because I can't actually reach round to get it out, and I'm thinking sometimes it can rub. That's the downside of having chummy arms that don't move very much. So I've lengthened the sleeves by about 3 inches, and now they sit as a high 3/4 really, I'm sorry it keeps falling off. You know how bad I am at showing you things. When I wear it, I will take some photographs. Well, I won't. Somebody else will take some photographs of me. The bottom of the pattern, as written, shows a more decorative hem that mirrors some of the pattern on the yoke, but I just did a darker band because I didn't want to draw attention to the tummy. And it's interesting because if you look at the patterning, I'm sorry I'm chucking this about everywhere, on there. So each colour is framed by this darker colour before it goes into the main colour again. But on the sleeves, I've put the main colour either side of the colours. Again, there'll be a quiz at the end. And it's funny how, it's interesting to see how different it turned out on the sleeve than it did on the yoke, just because of that colour change. I think the colours look a bit more stark there, but I'm quite happy with it. It all gels. You can see they're the same colour. Yeah, I'm really pleased with it, and it's ready to wear. I may wear it next Sunday, and I'm going to mention it for the first time now, when I go to Wonderwall. If it's like today, then I could wear this with a cardigan or something on top, or a jacket on top. It was bitterly cold, and a t-shirt underneath. It was bitterly cold last year, so I'm going to pay far more attention this year to what the weather says. It was colder in the sheds because it's agricultural showground, probably similar to Yarndale in some respect, which is a cattle market. So yeah, and it is used as a I don't know if it's used as a cattle market. It might be, because sometimes when you go, there's sheep or a couple of other animals in one of the adjacent fields, and I don't know whether they belong to a local farmer or they're there ready to be picked up or something. But yeah, I would pay far more attention because it was so bitterly cold last year. I do not want to repeat that. I put this out to block, and it kept saying, oh, we'll have a little bit of rain. It absolutely poured down, and it hailed on this. And I sat here looking at the window because I faced the back garden, and we've got our table outside, and I said to Tom, there's no point us getting soaked going in. I put a few pins in it. I didn't stretch it. Put a few pins in it because where the increases on the yoke had come, it was a bit lumpy, and you can still see some of the increases just about. But, so I didn't block it. I just held it in place with pins so it didn't blow away. And I just watched it getting wetter and wetter because I'd soaked it and then I put it on an 800 spin, or Tom did, in the washing machine, and it's not suffered for that at all. So we had to get it in, put it on the spinner again, and then I laid it flat on our airer, and it did end up at the end on the radiator. So, but yeah, Soundwave finished, yay! That's one of my cast-on, 12 cast-ons, by the way, and I need to put that on Instagram. As soon as I got a photograph of me in it, I will enter it. And then, strangely, or maybe not, in the same yarn, not same colour, different colourways, I have finished, but it's not blocked because of the April showers we keep having, the Pelargonium. And this is I don't know what you call it really, it's a wrap I suppose. This is half of it because it's folded over, and it is a free pattern by Beata Jezek, or Beata Jezek, of Hedgehog Fibres fame. And what I've done is I've used the main colour, which you can see the yellow and green goes throughout, and they are two of the bi-monthly club I had from Emma of Yarnworthy last year. I think it's called Summer Haze, in again Merino silk and yak. And then I've used other minis from the same advent that I had from Needle and Thread in Merino silk and yak. So I've been knitting a lot in this particular yarn, but it's lovely to feel. If you can see, I've got quite good light coming in today, you can see where I've changed minis For instance, that looks far more yellow and green there. And then if I go down, it's more brown. And that's a bit more grey. And on this side, it's quite dark green because I ended up with the darker greens. But I think it all went well. I didn't want to fade them in. I just started them, finished one, started another, because I already had the other colour with me, which was giving me some continuity throughout. And also, if you fade, how can you predict where that last one's going to end? It might end in the middle of another row, and you've already started your other colour that you're trying to mix it with. So I think that could get awkward, so I don't do it. So yeah, I'm really pleased with this. It needs blocking because it is a nice pattern. It's an eyelet pattern with decreases, you can see, and it's knit on the bias, so the pattern goes across rather than, goes at an angle, 45-degree angle-ish. But I need to block it a little bit so that it opens up the eyelets and makes it a bit wider. But I don't know how long this is. It's probably about 8 foot. Sorry, I bet I keep disappearing off the screen like what? It's me leaning on me wheelchair arm. It's about 8 foot at the moment, so it will grow, I think. When I don't like blocking anything aggressively, really, but with this I will try and block it sort of across as well as a bit. But I'm not going to trust the weather because this is heavy-ish. It's not going to be worn possibly till next winter, unless I wear it next week in Wales. But it would be unblocked by then, I should imagine. If we get a day where they can say it's not going to rain, then I'll put it out. And I think I'll get it semi-dry and then I'll put it on the line. Well, I can't reach the line because if I had to hang things on the line, they'd be on the floor. But yeah, so I'm really pleased with the Pelargonium. So that's 2. I haven't weighed it yet. I will weigh it at some point, and the Soundwave. So that's 2 items finished. Aren't I a good girl? I'll be back in a sec with some progress. Hello, I'm back again. I just remembered I had made also a tiny little pouch on the sewing machine when I was cutting out for the bag to send to Wendy. It's not the same colour as this, Wendy, so you'll still get a surprise. This is a small, it's just drawstringed with a bit of ribbon, and this is for her hearing aid amplifier for my friend Elaine. So if it's the right size for her, I'll make her another one. So I just put that together. It's lined, but when I did it, because it's quite fiddly being so small, I had a bit of trouble with the lining showing where the drawstring goes in. I don't think she'll be bothered, but I will make her a slightly better version. I quite like the fabric's nice, isn't it? That's another Lewis and Irene, of course. So yes, I made that again, sorry. Turn the chair off and have a slurp of cold tea. I bought from Waitrose, I don't know if you've heard of the moth tinned cocktails. They were selling them off half price or more, and they had a box of 4 small tin cans of espresso martini. Well, the last time I had espresso martini, because I love coffee flavoured things, it really upset my tummy, so I've not had them when I've been out, even though I really enjoy them. And as far as I can tell, the moth stuff has quite a good reputation. I presume because they were selling them for £16 at full price, that the reason they had some left over, probably from Christmas or something, is because they were so expensive, you know. So they would have been £4 each, still cheaper than getting a cocktail in a bar. You know, they're about 12 quid these days by us. Not that I drink cocktails, of course. I had one only just the other day. Anyway, I digress. And I was going to have one of those, but I thought I'd finish my cold tea first. Forever the martyr. Right, now, progress. I started as one of the trial cast-ons a Match and Move, which is a pattern by Martina Bem, and I think she was sort of the first person to put a like kite-shaped shawl together. And I've made the Match and Move twice now, and I started it for Elaine, who wanted a blue one, a blue shawls come scarf, so it wouldn't be a triangular. I was trying to make her something that'd be interesting to knit for me, not just boring going backwards and forwards, but something I could crack on with that didn't end up too wide, you see. And the Match and Move I think is perfect for that, because you have quite a lot of control. It's knitted really in garter stitch, but there are I've got 2 other shawl patterns that I thought I could mix and match the stitch patterns with, because they're the same shape. So last year when I went to Wonderwall, I bought this lovely Polworth from Siobhan's Crafts, and I think one of them's called Denim Sprinkles and the other one's called Siobhan's Jeans, and I can't remember which is which. But I started the Match and Move with these, thinking I'd do that as the main colour and then put a few stripes of that in, which has got all the pretty like fairy light type colours, and this has got some colour in. But I thought I'd do that, and then when you can see from the pictures of the shawl, it goes up into a kite and then it comes out into a slimmer triangle to the one side, so it's quite easy to wear, even though it's like it's got a kink in it, sort of that shape. Anyway, but I decided, I mean, it's Polworth, it's lovely and soft. It feels more like a sport weight than a 4-ply, and I didn't know whether Elaine would like it, so I've undone it. I'd only done a day's knitting on it. I've got that where I cut it off because I was going to do some rows with just that, and I've shoved that back into there like that. But I'm quite happy if anybody's interested in buying this from me. I can't think that I'd use it. I'm not very much a blue person. I'll wear classic blues and things, like a navy cardigan I've got, and I'd make another one because it's a good colour. But normally I wouldn't necessarily knit in blue. If anybody wants these, I'm happy to part with them within the UK for, I don't know, £18 including postage, or an offer around that amount. But I am going to start offering things, you know, I'm sinking under wool and fabric. It's my own fault. But if I don't think I can find a use for it, then I'm happy to part with them. And they've been wound up on my Knit Pro winder. I won't put them back on the knitting knot because you don't have to wind them up again. So if anybody's interested in those, let me know. If you're not, then I'll hang on to them for a bit or donate them to charity. So we'll see. Let me know. And if, of course, if you're interested in them and you're going to Wonderwall and you see this in time, then there you go. There'll be £15 for the 2 if you're happy to collect them from me at Wonderwall. So they are denim blue. So there we go, Polworth. And I decided that instead of doing a 2-colour one, I'd do a 3-colour one. So I went into my stash and I've started again, and I've got much further already with this. And that's the front in theory. It doesn't really matter because it should be sort of more or less reversible. So the colours, it's a bit more like a turquoisey blue than it is a denim blue. Not teal. I wouldn't call it a teal, but it's got a little bit more green tinge to it, I suppose. And this is from the Turning Tide set that I bought from Helen of Giddy Yarns at Nottingham Yarn Expo a few years ago. It could have been 2019 or 18. But yeah, very simple pattern. I recommend the pattern. And the colours haven't got any names. There are a set of 3, and I ordered 5 skeins from her. And I've already made, the idea was I was going to do a jumper. And then I decided I was going to do a jumper because I don't think these colours would suit me particularly. So I've got a dark, is it tonal? It's or a semi-solid, I would say. Then the mid-range, which has got green, the odd green speckle in it as well, actually, but they're only very slight speckles, which is the colour I've gone on to secondly. And then the third one is much paler, and that's got blue speckles in. I can't see if that's got green in it actually, but I knitted my friend Wendy a Bajagi shawl, and I really enjoyed knitting that, and I did that in two or three colours. I think I ordered 2 dark and 2 light, and then I've still got the middle one. So I did Wendy's shawl in those 2, but I'm going to use all 3 in this. I won't use the whole 300 grams. So I'm going to go up so far. I've been doing some subtle striping, and of course being garter stitch, it looks different on the back. And then when I get so far, I'm going to look at another stitch pattern. I want it mainly to be reversible, and then I'm going to I've done 5 garter bumps there, so that's 10 rows. I'm alternating them with 2 rows of the dark, and then I'm going to do 3 and then 1. So I've got a slight pattern going up that makes sort of sense in my head. I do like things to line up and not be too random. And then the light colour is going to be mainly for the bit where you do start decreasing again at some point, or you stop increasing, and that will be the other end of the shawl, so there's a contrast. Basically I'm winging it. So that is the Match and Move by Martina Bem, and I'm storing it in my lovely needle and thread bag. Now it says on the Wonderwall website that needle and thread are exhibiting at Wonderwall, but I'm not sure Libby is, because she's not been in contact. I've not seen her do anything, like the odd post on Instagram, and that's all. I think they've just left it there from last year. I don't mind saying that they are not brilliant with their tech, really. They don't sell themselves very well, but I shouldn't moan, because it means it's not as grand as places like Yarndale, and I know Edinburgh Yarn Fest used to get, so I should be grateful for that in the wheelchair, because it'd be like going through a busy market otherwise, which can be horrible. So yeah, so that's my progress on that. And what else I've been doing, and my Gilbert shirt, which is on the radiator behind me, I've put the buttonholes in after some sort of stop, because then I realised it's about time I cleaned my machine and put a new needle in, and then it worked fine. So that does apply. My mum said, oh, I hardly ever replace a needle, but they're not too expensive. Anyway, I've got the automatic buttonholer to work. I've sewed the buttons in, and now I want to narrow the sleeves, and I'm just going to try and narrow the sleeves, put a channel in with either elastic or a tie that I can just tighten them up a little bit, because they are enormous. I don't like these great big sleeves that are going on at the moment, because they are, I don't mind the look of them, but they're very impractical for me. I mean, I've got short fat arms, and they're like wizard sleeve. Well, it's exaggerated a bit, but they hang down. They're probably about 8, 9, 10 inches wide. Soup springs to mind. Oh, I just thought I've got some soup in the fridge. I might get time to put it in the freezer. Mum bought it yesterday. Put one lot in the freezer. I've got another lot, but I'm not eating lunch today, so shall I take that bit out? You don't need to know rubbish. So that's my progress. Okay. What's next? Well, incoming. I have bought some more fabric. I bought some fabric, some Tula Pink fabric, but it's in the wardrobe and it's all wrapped up, so I will show you that as and when I get around to using it. But I've got to stop buying fabric, because it's not just fabric, it's quilting fabric anyway. And then I was thinking I want to try Tunisian crochet. It's on my list of things to do this year, and for the Craft More in 24. And I was going to buy some jewel spun Aran by Sirdar, but when I went to Hobbycraft they didn't have the colour I wanted. I wanted one that had some pink in it or purple. I think they might have a bit in stock, but I wanted to do 4 balls, so I had enough to make a blanket-ish. Now I was looking on Instagram, and bearing in mind I don't follow very many dyers anymore to try and curb my spending. Obviously it hasn't worked, but you still get recommendations, still get things pop up because they like to tempt you, don't they? And the Discrete Unicorn, nice bag here, did not a spring, like a spring flower spring set of 6 colours, and from the photograph they looked quite pastel. And if you've seen my Instagram, I was a little disappointed they're more neon than pastel, because they didn't appear as I'd envisaged them in my head. Having said that, they're fine for what I want, and they'll look really, really nice together. So I'll show you the 6 in no particular order. So this is DK Merino, 100% Merino. It feels quite solid. She's bound it up quite tightly. I don't know if you can see the thingy there. This is called Hellebore, and you can see it's bright green with green speckles and pink speckles. I love the Hellebores that have got a slightly different tinge at the edge of the petals. And then you've got, this one is Hyacinth. I've not seen a Hyacinth this colour, to be honest, but this has got it's more of a turquoisey with purple and lime green and blue speckles and bits of variegation in it. Again, very pretty. It looks a bit fluffy at the moment. Once I've shown you, I'm going to ball it up and then have a go at the Tunisian crochet. And then, so that's Hyacinth. And then we've got Tete-a-Tete from your baby daffodils. I used to have quite a few Tete-a-Tetes on the front, but our heather has grown so high, our winter heather has grown so high that you can't see them anymore. But they'll be dormant. They'll come again if we ever cut the heather back a bit. So that's got, again, picks up some colours from the other skeins. It's a bit bright for me, this. I do like fuchsia pink. I can't wear it, so I tend to gravitate towards the version of the colours that can wear the tone and the brightness of it. Tulip, see, that would make me feel poor, make me look so pale if I wore that. It's got blue and pale pink in it. I can't see any green in that one, but that's fine. Ow! You know, if you've got arthritis, sometimes you get like an electric shock feeling up your fingers. Just had that. It's a good job I didn't swear like I normally do. Crocus. See, these are all a brighter version of what I envisage them to be when I looked at the picture, but I'm not unhappy with them. I'm just saying when I opened the bag they weren't quite as I was expecting. And then finally we have this, which is a lovely orange with, again, green speckles, yellows, quite pale, and this is called Azalea. So there we go, my Discrete unicorn. I have to say that I thought they were very good value for money, because have you noticed how much more, well, everything has gone up recently, and these were 6 skeins for £90, and that included postage, and I thought that was quite good, really. And it's plenty of wool, 600 grams, plenty of wool to make little old me a blanket or something to give away. Can you see those? Well, you know how bad I am at showing things off. So yes, so that's the Discrete Unicorn. Having said they were too neon for me, I'm currently debating with myself as to whether to buy her advent calendar, because she's doing a neon pastels. She put photographs up. They're like AI generated photos, so they're quite sugary and sweet, which is nice. And I get drawn to pastels, and I'm thinking, well, if I know it coming as a neon, then it won't be a surprise, and I'll be happy to accept it. So I'm in an ahhing at the moment about buying a Discrete Unicorn Advent. Okay, so that's hopefully next time I see you, or the next one time I see you, I might have started some Tunisian crochet. I was going to buy the Sirdar because it's a new to me technique, and of course the Sirdar is a lot cheaper than buying these skeins. I didn't want to be doing a lot of experimenting with the stitches and going backwards and forwards and starting again, so maybe I should. I've got some acrylic, or I've got some DK acrylic. It's DK I want to experiment with in the wardrobe, if I can find it. It's in the wardrobe rather than in the loft, I think. I could have a practice. And speaking of advents, I have bought my first one from the Skein and the Stitch, because she's doing an Alice in Wonderland one that has quite muted browns, peaches, reds, and they look like my sort of colours. I don't think there's any greens in there, but I do like the mood board she put up, and if it's anything like that, then I'll be very, very happy. So I've bought that, and I'm looking at the Discrete Unicorn as a complete contrast to that, and that shuts the Discrete Unicorn one, closes. I think a lot of them close their books at the end of April, or the couple of weeks into May. They're getting earlier and earlier, and I think it's difficult to make a decision. The other one I'm very tempted by is Adventures in Yarncraft, and I've had one of hers before, and it was very, very nice, the way she puts one colour into another. Except I think there's an advantage, isn't it? Some of the colours look very much like the ones that I've already ordered from the Skein and the Stitch. So that might be nice, because I can mix and match them then. But do I want two things that are that similar when I haven't used last year's yet? It's only last year's. I haven't got Camel's Yarn. And there was another one, wasn't there? Oh, my brain. So yeah, and they're so expensive. So expensive. I wouldn't be buying them if they weren't my Christmas present. I don't get other presents really. That's it. And I'm very lucky that I can buy them. And Tom doesn't mind, because he doesn't have to do any choosing for me. Well, there you go. We'll see. I might buy. Yeah, we'll see. I'll make a decision. I'd like to leave it until after Wonderwall, because depending on what I buy there, I don't want to buy too much. Buying more than I can knit, my incoming is probably still greater than my outcome, and my outgoing, if you include fabric. Anywho's, so that's incoming. I haven't had a lot, have I? I've had the odd bits and pieces and things, and with the Tula Pink, I also ordered a little quilting. Oh, things are falling. Like a lot of podcasters, I've got piles of things everywhere. Little Tula Pink quilting ruler, and that's that one as well. It's a Tula Pink, and it's got a 1/4 inch seam and a 3/8 seam on it, and that will help me as a novice with my quilting as and when I have a go at it. Just sew in a straight line first. Anyway, plans and activities. Well, first of all, I have actually read 2 books since I last spoke to you. The first one was called The 3 Dahlias or Dahlias by Katie Watson. I'll put a photograph of the cover on here. Classed as like a vintage mystery murder thing. A bit Agatha Christie-ish, quite upper class. I'm a bit of an inverted snob. It put me off a bit with some of the names, Clementine and Letitia and Dahlia. The Dahlias, without giving anything away, what it says on the front, they're all people who've played this character called Dahlia or Dahlia in either television series or films, a bit like Miss Marple, you know what I mean? And they're all together at this convention, and that's all I'm going to say. But I read it as Dahlia because I thought it fitted the other names in the book rather than Dahlia, because Dahlia sounds like, well, it's named after the plant, obviously, the flower, the beautiful flower. But anyway, I thought it was a bit slow, but if you like cosy crime, then I'd recommend it because it's quite easy reading. My mum said the same. It took her a while to get into it, but when she got into it, it wasn't too bad. So, yeah. And I almost guessed the end. I didn't quite get it right, which is good, isn't it? And then this morning, if I can do this without knocking the camera, I finished this book. I started it yesterday afternoon. The Murder War by Mary Hannah. It's again a crime. I almost exclusively read crime because I like the fact you get an outcome. But there was no wall in it. No, you know, you see murder wars on programmes where they put they pin everything that's relevant to the case. Even in the real life stuff, they do that. The forensic programmes and police custody programmes. It was okay. It was okay in the end. I had trouble pulling everybody together a little bit at the beginning, but maybe I'm just out of practice in reading things. It's about 400 pages, but yeah, I've read it in just a few hours. I'm not a speed reader, but yes, it was okay. I'm going to give that to charity now because I've got a few on my bookcase and I could put some of my lovely little trinkets on there if I got rid of some of the books. So yes. So what we've been up to then, we're back to activity already. I went to Merry Hill with Mum. It was okay. We didn't really buy very much. Did we come home with anything? I don't think so. Did I buy any food? I might have bought a couple of bits from Merry Hill. I don't think I did. You know, there's nothing really there for me. I know I keep saying that, but it is convenient, and it was going to rain that day, so we opted to go to Merry Hill. And then I had a lovely chat with Penny of Penelope's Chinwag, and she's very kindly offered to help me, giving me some lovely advice, and going to put a video up to help me with quilting. I hope you don't mind me mentioning that, Penny. And that's going to be very useful because it is something I could easily struggle with physically if things got too big for me. So she's going to help me with a method that might be a bit easier on my body because I need it. Coming into spring now, I do think I'm feeling slightly better with the drier days, and then it pulls down. April showers. I went to a party in a social club, miners club, former miners club near Dudley, and Elaine and Liz that I see from school. Elaine's father-in-law was 90, Dennis, who I know, and it was a surprise birthday party for him, so Liz and I went over and celebrated with him. So that was nice to see everybody because I know Elaine's family very well. I met Mum and went to Webb's with her on Monday, the local large garden centre. I've lost my free drinks card, probably said that before, so Mum has to keep using hers. Did I buy anything? No, I didn't buy anything this time. Didn't buy anything in Hobbycraft. Said hello to Naomi who works in there. Saw some nice things but didn't buy anything. Then on the Wednesday, this Wednesday just gone, I inadvertently double booked myself, which I'm tending to do recently. I'd got a hair appointment, and because I'd put tenner off at the beginning of the month because I was aching quite a bit and I didn't really want to go out in the evening, I glibly said, oh yes, I could do the 17th, knowing full well it was hair, and the two didn't click in my brain, joined up. So I went to have my hair cut, which meant getting in and out the car, and I'd had a shower that morning as well, which takes it out of me for a few hours. And then I went to tenner, and we went to Cozy Club. My friend Nick is on crutches and she's taking strong painkillers, and she's about to get her second hip done in about 3 weeks' time, I think. So between us, there isn't a fit person. One of the other ladies there, Jan, she fell over backwards 3 years ago, I think it is, hit her head, and she's lost her sense of smell and taste. And Nikki and Nick, two different people. Nikki's due to have an MRI, 2 MRIs, shortly. So, you know, between us, and we wouldn't mind. I mean, Nick, the one who's having the second hip done soon, and she's 9 years younger than me, 54, so she's quite young for that to be done. But some people just get earlier onset arthritis, don't they? So then I had a day's rest, and then Friday, get up, and I went into our little town centre with Denise, met Denise, we had a good chat. That was nice. It didn't rain on us, it was quite a nice pleasant day, wasn't too cold. We had a walk around, went to the library, yeah, had a cup of tea, shared a sandwich, went back and had a cake afterwards, but I couldn't finish the cake. Yeah, it wasn't as nice as it should have been, a bit stale. And that's brought me up to date. Mum popped over yesterday to see us and bought me some soup and some ribbon for Elaine's little pouch that I showed you earlier, because I didn't have anything the right colour or the right thickness. And I think she's going to go and stay with my sister tomorrow, who lives near Oxford. And then, of course, the big thing is I'm going to Wonderwall next week, and I cannot wait. I've got to be well for that. I've cancelled seeing Liz and Elaine tomorrow because my tummy's playing up a bit and I can't risk going out when it's like that. Luckily, usually I have it under control. Then Wednesday I'm going to IKEA with Mom, Naomi and Tom, and we're hopefully going to buy a mattress for our bed. And then Sunday we've got Wonderwall, and I'm hoping to meet you there, those of you we've met before or anybody new. Excuse me, I'm going to intend to sit down in the same place we met last year, which is as you go into the big main hall, as you walk up the slope, there's a hall on your left that's standalone, and then there's the big main building that stretches along to the right, and you go from one hall to another. They're numbered differently, but they're actually one big building, and there is a coffee place with tables right at the far side. Sal, remember that? Not the one you went and sat at last time, the one right at the other end. I should be there about 1:30, and please come and say hello. If you see me anyway, going around, but like I've said before, with the wheelchair and that, it can be awkward to stop and chat to people in the middle of the thoroughfare, and so I'll definitely sit down and have some lunch at about 1:30 next Sunday, so please come and say hello. And I'm going to meet Anita because she's made a lovely tea loaf, which I'm looking forward to trying. Don't eat it all before I get there, Anita. I don't know what to buy. I'm also hoping to have a meet up with Sal from South Wales and Pip, Anita, anybody else that I've said I'll meet. Yes, brilliant. I'm looking forward to it. And Angela of Attic Spin Dye as well. We're hoping to grab a coffee together. I've got to fit it all in and look at all the wool, and I want to look at the non-wool as well this time, because I tend to get a bit fixated and think I like that, it's pretty, therefore I need to buy it. I can't do that this year. I've got to have a bit of a plan. I've said to Sal on WhatsApp this morning, look at a pattern that I genuinely think I haven't got the right wool for, and then go and look for that instead of buying that because it'll come in use. I've got plenty of come in use and it will all get used, you know. by somebody. So yeah, I need to have a little bit of a plan. And that's it really. I'm really looking forward to Wonderwall. And then I stupidly put Elaine and Liz off tomorrow. And then stupidly I said, oh yeah, I can do the 29th. No, I can't. I'll be, you know, I'll be tired afterwards. I won't be able to go out the following day. So now we're looking at June, unfortunately, because May's not a goer for us. My fault. Never mind. It can't be helped. I'm going to go now because I'm wittering as usual. I don't know how long I've been talking. 53 minutes. That means I've talked very quickly. Sorry. I should go and get you edited and get you up on YouTube hopefully tonight, but you won't know that until you see me appear. Thank you for all your support. My subs are creeping up. It's nice to watch. You know, if you like what you see, click. But, you know, yeah, I'm happy with what I'm doing. I enjoy podcasting. I will try and see you in a couple of weeks' time because I need to show you what I've bought from Wonderwall. And I won't say nothing because there will be something. And I'm not really positive. Oh no, I've got one last thing to show you. I had a lovely package and I'll put a photograph up of it. Let me just go and grab the bags. And she sent me these two lovely handmade project bags. I've not put anything in that yet, but I have put something in the gnome one. Let it grow, let it grow, let it grow. Isn't that lovely? What have I keeping in here? That'll be a surprise for me. Oh, my lantern shawl. Yes, the one with the beads on it. So, beautifully made. Thank you very much. And she includes some minis, a little bit of stationery, a lovely notebook, and some chocolates. And all gratefully received. Thank you very much, Sue. That was a really nice surprise, and it didn't take too long to get to me either, you know, and that was posted snail mail as well. So I think I'm tending to prefer that now instead of paying the extra for tracking and things. I think it makes things worth sending instead of you worrying about the fact that sometimes the postage might be worth a higher value than what you've put in there, you know. Anyway, thank you, Sue, so much for these and the minis and everything else you put in. And yeah, speak soon. I'll go now. Now I've been all topsy-turvy. I will see you soon. Okay. And if you're around, I'll see you at Wonderwall. Take care. Bye.